Welcome back to the MartiniWorks Podcast. Historical car fun fact of the day.
Ooh.
You ready for this?
Yeah, hit me with it.
Better be good, though.
The 1995 300ZX, when it won the triple header of Le Mans and Sebring, and I want to say it was Daytona, they actually won it with a V8 in the car instead of the twin-turbo V6.
That's cheating.
Yeah, what the hell?
It was the V8 out of the, I want to say it was the Q45.
Weird.
Yeah, that they had amped up.
That's
and
cheating. The
built
car doesn't come with that.
reliably. Yeah. Still won. And what was really funny is nobody actually thought Nissan was going to win because they had some of the worst luck in terms of crashes with the 300ZX that they were running. I mean, these drivers were getting knocked around so hard that I think in one of the crashes, I can't remember the individual's name, but he actually like fractured his neck in one of the crashes. Went to the hospital, got all cleared, told him don't get back in a car, and then he got back into the 300ZX and ended up winning the triple header.
Nice.
So there you go. Fun fact of automotive little history for you today. Welcome to the MartiniWorks Podcast. If you guys are looking for car parts, mod your car at MartiniWorks.com.
Yeah, do that.
Gels, do we have anything new on the website that's worth bragging about?
New on the website?
Yeah.
I mean, we're adding stuff every day.
Yeah, like what? Give
got-
me specific examples.
You gotta put me on the spot like that. I mean, we got a ton of really cool wheels on the website. I mean, we just added a bunch of like dope stage wheels. We got work wheels. We got Graham light wheels. We got a whole slew of tires now.
Yeah.
From your Yokos. We got Ironmans.
Yeah.
We have the God's tire, the God's drift tire, the Iron Man.
Every once in a while we get so stuck on talking about like the best tires, which is unfortunately also the most expensive tires. But it's like, bro, you need to go slide around, go let her rip on some Ironmans. Those things fuck.
There are some good shitty tires out there too.
I don't even know how you can put that in a sentence, but he's not wrong.
It's like when you go to Chili's and you're like, damn, this is actually really good.
It's like
I know it's horrible, but
the
it's
barbecue
good.
rib sandwich at Quick Trip.
Ooh, yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
shitty, but it's good.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
know
gonna
what
get it.
I don't know what part of it is rib. I feel like it's not. It's kind of like when they put the when the
love that-
crab rangoon is like crab extract or whatever it is.
Nah, it's just
Imitation crab extract?
Yeah,
What the fuck is
I thought you were
that?
gonna say like the Panda Express ones that are literally just cream cheese,
Yeah.
which is dumb.
Yeah,
like-
Beck and I get those on Sundays, and I've started to not like them more. And now it makes sense because it doesn't even taste like a normal crab
They
rangoon.
don't even
there's
have
no
crab
crab.
extract.
Yeah, no crab extract in the crab burgers at Panda Express. And we got a bunch of dope stuff, a bunch of good tires now.
We're working on getting Kenda onto the website as
Yeah,
well.
I know,
So
that's
if
a
you
big
guys like Kenda
of them.
tires, we keep buying them for our drift friends, but we don't have them on the website.
They're
So
like, hey, you should get these. And we're like,
let us know below. Dakota,
Hi.
what's new? You weren't here then now,
No.
depending on when this episode goes live. What's new with Dakota?
You know, just watching companies go bankrupt.
that's the trend this year.
Yeah. Everyone's doing it.
Everyone's the
Going
cool kids
bankrupt
are
is
doing
the coolest.
If your brands were declaring bankruptcy, would you do it too to be cool?
Yeah.
If you guys and gals don't know, the brand we were talking about is none other than Hoonigan declaring bankruptcy.
Oh my God.
Chapter
Okay.
11,
Wheel Pros.
not Chapter 7. Because here's the thing.
skipped a few chapters.
This bankruptcy is getting really sensitive for a lot of folks, mostly because Hoonigan employs like 1,000 people, and many of them are marketers, content creators, younger folk. And when you are going out to see the news on Facebook, of all places, you can see that there are some people that work there that are kind of pissy that people aren't saying that it's a Chapter 11, not a Chapter 7.
Okay, what's the difference?
That means nothing to
Tell me the difference.
Chapter 11 is like, I'll give you one more chance to do it right.
Okay.
Chapter 7 is
But
going out of business, 70% off. This company's never coming back.
What's Chapter 1?
You don't get to talk about that yet.
okay.
That's got to be psycho.
So, yeah, I remember because I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you're watching this now, have seen the short that we did on it, kind of like when everything was announced. Alex did a good amount of research into it, like as we could at the time, and kind of explain the difference between Chapter 11 and Chapter 7. Sounds like Chapter 11, you get one more chance to kind of just settle all of your debts. However, they have a lot of debts to settle, don't they?
You ready for this? Hoonigan's Chapter 11 bankruptcy is a resolution for $1.2 billion of debt.
Oh
With
my
a B.
Here's the kicker.
billion.
That's not all their debt.
What do you mean?
They have $1.75 billion of accountable debt on their sheets right now.
Okay, how does what is their debt? Their debt too. Is it stocking product, like buying warehouses of product? Where are they spending $1 billion? Their employees?
Just got to pay out those fat stacks.
Well,
they got $1.2 billion of Hoonigan T-shirts that they got to
they
sell.
sell. Like, where are they spending the money?
So the big kicker is, and what a lot of people don't understand is, Hoonigan has, I think, publicly 27 LLCs underneath, thereabouts, 27 LLCs underneath the Hoonigan name.
Okay, so now I know this is where it gets really fucking weird, because Wheel Pros bought Hoonigan,
Merged with them.
with Hoonigan, and now that whole thing is known as Hoonigan, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so in that whole umbrella, there's 27. It's
Yes.
not like there's another umbrella on top of that.
No, but there's also DBAs underneath those
hell is
27 companies. See, this is what's so wild. and this is
messy
where it gets
spaghetti.
so sensitive, because we love everyone that is underneath the umbrella. But like, we're talking about, when we say Hoonigan, we don't just mean Hoonigan.
Right.
We mean Rotiform. We need Motegi. We mean Moto Metal. We mean Throttle. We mean all of these different brands.
American
We
Force.
mean American Force. We mean, up until maybe even a couple days ago, we meant even Four Wheel Parts. And Four Wheel Parts actually just got, I think they're selling it back to the original family, which is super cool to hear. But when they acquired Four Wheel Parts through Trans-American Auto Group, whatever it was, that was owned by Polaris,
Whoa.
the UTV company,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Polaris. And on top of that, when they acquired that, they acquired over 90 brick and mortar stores across the United States and Canada. So you wonder where the $1.2 billion comes from? It comes from that. It comes from
So it came from like all these like
Buying businesses.
acquisitions.
literally, yeah. I mean, when you're buying these companies or acquiring these companies, you're acquiring their debts as well. And so while everybody thinks when we say Hoonigan, unfortunately, because they thought changing Wheel Pros' name to Hoonigan was a good decision. I don't know who the fuck thought that was a good decision. It's a terrible decision. Yeah, I mean, they acquired $1.2 billion of debt. The TSW acquisition that Wheel Pro / Hoonigan did wasn't really even for a lot of the TSW brands. If you guys don't know TSW, Tiger Sport Wheels,
Horrible name.
terrible name, acronymized.
Yeah. TSW.
You get what I'm
sounds
trying to
better.
say. TSW sounds way better. They have a bunch of brands underneath them. Bjorn, Cray, TSW. They, I think, have 7 or 8 of them. But the reason, at least when I spoke to the companies and the powers that be back in the day, the big reason that they were bought out was because they had 8 distribution centers in the United States. And Wheel Pros / Hoonigan wanted the distribution centers. They didn't really care about the names that much. And if you follow that acquisition, Wheel Pros kind of fucked TSW over with a lot of some of those brands. They limited a lot of the inventory. They reduced a lot of the SKU count. They stopped selling a lot of the product. They still support, obviously, TSW, but prior to the acquisition, they had a lot more available. Damn. That's where $1.2 billion comes from.
So what does this mean right now? Does that mean like no more rotiform wheels? Does it mean everything proceeds as normal? It's just
Yeah, because I feel like I
I
hear consistent. I mean, we just talked about BBS not that long ago,
Yep.
filing for insolvency
Insolvency.
and bankruptcy. once
Everybody
again.
that's a car enthusiast has now officially been inducted into Business Finance 101, because all the terms that you're hearing right now is like what you would learn in the first 18 weeks of taking business finance.
business.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. All this happens. We're learning fancy terms. What the fuck changes? Because
yeah.
So Chapter 11 is really good for Wheel Pros or Hoonigan because it allows them to conduct business as normal.
Okay.
Essentially, they're going to like their lenders and they're saying, hey, we are in trouble. And if we don't get out of this, if we don't make very special circumstantial changes, we will be declaring a Chapter 7.
Okay.
So this is like
and that's
the yellow
the really
light.
bad one.
Yes, this is the yellow light before the red light. When you hear politicians like Donald Trump and Kamala Harris going back and forth in the old debate stage about bankruptcy, there's so many different levels of bankruptcy that you can declare, which is why people that are defending Hoonigan right now are saying, well, it's a Chapter 11.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a chapter. People don't even know what bankruptcy means anymore. It's like, well, bankruptcy's still bankruptcy. You still took on
not
too
good.
much and you're not making enough money and you need help. So don't just swing it as like, don't marginalize a bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is still a pretty big thing to declare. But it allows them to conduct business as normal. They can still pay their staff. They can still pay their warehouse employees. They can still sell product. Their distribution remains unaffected for 2 months.
Okay.
They get 8 weeks, according to their plan.
So they have 8 weeks to make good for essentially $3 billion.
1.2 at least.
1.2 at least.
Yeah.
What?
So something's got to change then, obviously. If shit hasn't been going well in the last couple of years.
Let's multiple choice this really quick.
All right. Yeah.
You need to come up with $1.2 billion to pay people that you owe money to.
Oh, yeah.
Which is publicly available information. You can see that they owe $92 million to a company called the Wilkinson Trust. They own, I think, $13 million. They owe $1.2 million to Adobe.
Oop. They never paid their Adobe fee? What are they editing with?
$20 a month times.
I guess you got to start pirating Photoshop. Save on that.
So you have $1.2 billion in debt. Here are your choices.
Okay.
1, lay off as many people as you can.
That'd be weird.
They already did that.
Oh.
Option 2, sell off brands that you currently own. Okay. They did that. 4-wheel parts.
Okay.
Number 3, they dip into this really crazy thing called shareholder equity.
Okay.
And they say, hey, Dakota, thanks for selling us that brand for equity back in 2019. You know how we rolled that like $5 million worth of value for your company into Wheel Pros equity? I'm going to take that. Hey, I owe you $5 million, right?
Yeah.
Here's $5 million.
Oh, thanks, dude.
That's what they did.
That's fucked. What the hell?
How does that even work?
So what happens is because, and this is where he starts to get a little finicky. And remember, I don't work at Hoonigan, so I'm sure that's not right. That's not what's happening. It's close enough. It's generalized enough to where what I can say and what I'm hearing from individuals that they may not be named is companies that got purchased into Wheel Pros up until this point. A lot of those deals included equity in the company, meaning that we will buy your small business for X amount of dollars, plus we will give you a percentage of equity into Wheel Pros. What that does is it allows you to keep these founders that owned these companies in Wheel Pros / Hoonigan, right? Because now when they continue to work hard, they make more money. Company goes up, equity goes up, you get more distribution. That's how this whole thing worked. And that's kind of like the model for acquiring companies. You acquire a bunch of them, you try to keep the original folks on because they know the business best, and you pay them out via equity. So as Wheel Pros continued to grow, those deals got more and more aggressive to where it was less and less straight value dollar and more equity in Wheel Pros.
Sure.
Good deal? Makes sense. The problem with that is that if Wheel Pros or Hoonigan can discern in a Chapter 11 bankruptcy that they need to make cuts to that or they need to take that back, they can. If you had $5 million in equity, you're not as important as the lender who needs that $5 million.
Damn.
So Wheel Pros or Clear Lake or the folks that be, the powers that be that control this, the lending companies that be, can say, no. That's not your $5 million anymore.
That's ours.
That's our $5 million, right? And that's where they're getting a lot of this money from too.
And do they get like that section of their company back?
Yeah.
Okay.
So these
Well, at
guys.
least-
Well,
okay.
no. So
No?
these guys are done because they already sold.
Shit.
So they're done. They don't have the equity
they
anymore.
stole it.
So they pretty much took it.
That's fucked.
So what you're telling me is the next Gymkhana is gonna suck.
It's gonna be bad, dude.
Are we doing Gymkhana in Beaver Dam?
You're gonna be doing fucking Fast and
fucking
Furious
Altima.
5. Yeah, you're gonna be doing Fast and Furious 5 vault heists.
No, so it's a really weird situation. Now, what I'm saying, please hear me say with a grain of salt, there might be additional details inside the company that I just don't know. But in a general way of looking at a company that's this big, that has about 50 or so equity shareholders from previously acquired companies coming out, pissed off, kicking and screaming and saying, what the hell did you just do to what I thought was mine? Essentially, this is the only option because the other option is shutting their doors.
Well, and I mean, I think it speaks a lot to like all the main personalities of Hoonigan and stuff kind of dissolved.
Yeah,
so it's like you can just see this shit coming from
It's
a mile
not like
away.
it's going out there. Everyone's like, I'm not fucking surprised. I'm honestly more surprised it took this long. you know, and that is what it is. But yeah, I don't think anyone's like, oh my God, how did this happen? It's like,
I never would have imagined.
yeah. When everyone starts bailing out of a company, the four like front-facing people of a company start dipping out. See ya.
Well, that was always the weird.
Never a good sign.
That was always the weird thing for me because I've always looked up to a lot of those Hoonigan guys.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
just their attitude and the way that they portray them. They're awesome. Like it's so easy to watch Vin and Hurt and those guys. And even like I find so much inspiration from like Brian Scotto on Instagram, and I love when he posts his stuff, and I love when he talks about his past because it's so authentic, you know. But then I go out there and I'm like, well, I've spent time with these Wheel Pro folk, the powers that be. I want to go see what Brian Henderson's up to. You know, Brian Henderson was one of the co-founders of Rotiform, and you know he had this huge success story in Wheel Pros. I mean, he was the chief strategy officer towards the end of it. And I went over to his LinkedIn as I'm doing research for the video, and he doesn't even work at Hoonigan anymore.
Damn.
He works at KW Automotive. He's worked there for the last 4 months, which tells me that he saw something 4 months ago and said, it's not worth
They're
it.
jumping shit.
And jumped out.
Yeah.
And I should have saw that
And
4
that's
months
like,
ago.
Yeah, that it makes me so curious. Like, who's left there of the original, you know, kind of workforce that was there?
And I feel bad because nobody wants to, obviously, no, I don't want to sound mean towards anyone, right? But it's like, I always say from the research, Randy White and the Jodys of the world and the MHT Alloys of the world, which was one of the big acquisitions they did, it's like they stuck to what they knew. Wheels.
Yep.
These companies, they just bought wheel companies, brought it all together, sold more wheels. You can do that. But like in 2018, 2019, with Clear Lake Capital behind them, they started buying shit that they probably like shouldn't have. Like, why would a company that makes B2B dealer distribution networks for wheels buy Throttle? Why the hell would you ever get involved in trying to own a company that's a direct-to-consumer market? You don't know that space. And if you keep them, great. But now if you don't have any equity, why the fuck would you stay? If you were the person that has ownership in Throttle and sold for equity in Hoonigan, and now Hoonigan doesn't have that equity anymore, why would you stay?
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same thing to be said for Four Wheel Parts. It's the same thing to be said for Hoonigan. You watched all those people leave because why the hell would they stay? They have absolutely no reason for a paycheck. You think Brian Scotto can't make another Hoonigan, a better Hoonigan? You think Vin can't make a better Hoonigan or Hurt can't make a better Hoonigan? It's like, I just don't believe that. And that's what's really shitty about these businesses doing this, where it's like, I feel like it's almost business ego has ruined so many of these brands.
Yeah, because they come in, they see the success of the brand, and they're like, we can make you so much money. We can like do things together. It's crazy things, crazy, huge things people never seen before. And then they just get fucking shit on.
Yeah.
And it's continuing to happen over and over and over. It's never ending.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
But
see it a mile away now.
You do have to ask yourself, right? Because let's say at max, there's 50 people getting screwed in this whole thing that's happening right now. Is that still better than Hoonigan in its entirety shutting its doors? Leaving, no more Rotiform, right?
I mean,
Let's
either
say no more this, no more that.
That's a tough question.
Well, I don't personally see them. Okay, those 50 people go. Dude, I don't know how they're gonna bounce back from this. Like, I feel like I love the Hoonigan brand and what it was, but it's not that anymore. It's different.
Yeah.
I don't see them exploding onto the scene in 2025 unless they have some crazy plan.
Yeah.
It's like,
But I would put that crazy plan out of everybody's hands, right? It's like you would assume Brian Henderson, right, the guy who's kind of tried to lead through this, would have a plan. Who's the person that they could hire that could do that? Because he's not there anymore.
Right.
right. That's what I'm saying. Like the main people aren't there any longer. So it's like,
The people that you need the most right now
do you
are gone.
expect the bounce back?
Yeah.
How are they gonna?
It's just one of those things where it's like, this is the thing that makes the most sense. We're going to cut the 50 instead of like the thousands of employees and just shut everything down. Obviously, they're going to try something.
Yeah.
You would too, right? Like you would try anything that you could. It's just that the situation that they're in, like we said, all the people that would be there that can save it, that could save it, that could maybe breathe some light back into it, gone. They've been gone. They've been gone for a couple of years.
And the good news is maybe those folks that get out of Hoonigan, maybe they start their own thing again, and maybe there's a resurgence of like new entry-level brands. You know, maybe there's a new company here, a new company there because they exited, you know, this massive umbrella, and now they're starting off their own thing. There could be a sign that that's new competition coming in the future. That could be cool.
Yeah.
But it's tough for me because when we first started really jumping into wheels, you know, Rotiform, where are you? Rotiform. I mean, dude, that brand was fucking popping.
Rotiform was so huge
everywhere.
when I got into cars. The Euro scene was completely 100% taken over by Rotiform.
But it was pop. Nowadays, it's like I don't see here. I think even in like our messages we get in the chat when people are looking for wheels and tires on MartiniWorks, they're like, I'm not like that brand name is not even in the circle of brands that they're looking to learn about. And it's crazy to me to see that. I don't even want to use the word downfall because they're still very popular, but it's like they used to be something huge with a passion, you know?
And that was like even before like the whole like COVID mess and stuff too, that obviously brought everything up. That was like, when we like first started, like Rotiform was everywhere.
Well, everyone knew the name.
Yeah, everyone knew the name. They were doing like crazy shit. I think they were really like pushing the envelope on stuff of like.
Yeah, they had monoforged in a box program.
Yeah.
They were like the first ones.
They were doing some like really crazy stuff, and now it's just like, and maybe I just haven't been paying a lot of attention to it, but at the same time, it's like that attention was brought to me in the first place. So it's like
it's not your job to look for them; it's their job to come to you. But one more thing, and then obviously we can take a small break. But the wildest part of this story is I was kind of learning because I was trying to figure out like the 1.2 billion, where could it come from? And then I'm like, wait a minute, I know why Hoonigan's $1.2 billion in debt. They tried opening a wheel manufacturing plant in the United States. A couple years ago, they bought a wheel factory, a wheel manufacturing facility in Auburn from Borbit. And they employed 224 people to make wheels here in America. American forged, American cast wheels. And they're like, we're going to make this big thing. It's going to be huge. It's going to be an awesome investment. This is going to be how we do it. 3 years later, shut the doors, fired 224 people, didn't say a single word about it.
Jesus. Holy shit.
And that is where I think some of that money is.
I mean, yeah. It's not cheap to do that here.
But we're going to take a small break now before talking about our MartiniWorks podcast, partner of the day, Continental Tire. You guys and gals have really enjoyed us talking about them. We actually just had a customer come by and pick up his gram lights that were on Continental, DWS-06s?
You nailed it.
DWS-06 pluses, and one of the questions he asked was, are these good tires? The answer is yes, undoubtedly. They're awesome for dry, wet, and a little bit of snow in there, which is absolutely awesome. Fantastic Tire has huge range of tire sizes that it'll cover for you. We love Continental, and of course, I'm just going to say it, winter's coming. Get your Viking Contact 7s if you live in a place where it's below 40 degrees, because it is going to change your life. We promise.
I'll get a Viking Contact 7 tattoo right now.
You might as well.
I love them.
I want you to get like the whole list of
the whole Conti lineup.
I'm gonna be really. I'm gonna be honest though. If you are on the fence of like, hey, I think I'm just gonna daily my car in the wintertime. You know, maybe you have a fun car. Maybe you bought a car that you were only gonna drive for the summer. You're making the decision to say, I'm just gonna drive it all year round. I think that's a great idea. There are 3 things that you need. Number 1, an unlimited car wash from your local gas station. Number 2, you're gonna want to get Continental Viking Contact 7s, and number 3. Buy a new set of wheels. Get something affordable. Get something easy that you're comfortable with. Maybe getting a little banged up because salt and snow isn't easy on them. Package that all together, and you will fall in love with your car, and you will tell everybody that they need to daily drive their car in the winter too. And I promise you, 90% of the reason you're going to say that is because you have Viking Contact 7s on your car. So with that being said, thank you, Continental, for sponsoring the MartiniWorks podcast, and we will see you in a second. We're just talking about commentators and how tough that job can be to just sit there and just talk forever about something happening. And then they have to like make a call for like a timeout. And then they have to talk for 5 minutes about the play.
We're
and
professional
you say
yappers.
one thing wrong or slightly off and you hear about it till the end of time.
It's literally just like, don't stop talking for 3 hours.
And
if
don't
you
mess
say
up.
one thing wrong, you're fucked.
It reminds me of
It's a tough job.
It reminds me so much of the conversation of like people's anger towards Formula Drift commentating, and it's like, dude,
I don't
Jared
get it.
Deanda has such a hard job because he's got to talk not just about the sport the entire day. He also has to talk without being a judge, but then he has to commentate the calls which he doesn't have enough information to even commentate the calls because there's no easy way to get him the information to commentate the calls.
That's why he's just like kind of like behind the judges, like, I'm just kind of listening in to hear what they're saying.
He's like, yeah, they're close. We're still, and then he has to do it to like fucking 15-year-olds on a live stream that are just like, did LZ go yet? Did LZ go yet? Did LZ go yet? Did LZ go yet? And then when like the Brazilian drifters go out there, then it's just the Brazilian flag,
everywhere,
just everywhere, and it's like I feel so bad for that guy. I feel so bad for that guy. But anyway, we're jumping in and we're talking about something that's huge that's coming up. We got Slammed Enough. Gatlinburg. I'm saying it.
Gatlinburg was canceled. Gatlinburg canceled.
That's the Sevierville.
I don't know how to type
Cybertown.
that word in. But
know.
Gatlinburg. All right. Slammed Enough Sevierville.
Slammed Enough Tennessee.
That's just what they should call it. And it's a safe bet.
It's a couple weeks away. We got a lot of stuff planned for that.
Okay, so why'd they change where the location is?
So the location's the same. Same venue, same everything. It's just with all the shit that some of you people.
Hey, our group's not doing that.
I know, not
the
you
people listening to podcasts
I know,
are not the problem.
That some people out there did caused a bit of a ruckus in Gatlinburg. And they don't want it
like the city of Gatlinburg was like, hey, don't use the name.
I think they're just trying to separate it a little bit.
Don't use the name.
It literally changes nothing, and it really doesn't.
I thought it was a different venue this whole time. It was the same venue?
Same fucking venue.
So here's what worries me. I love what Slam Enough does that weekend. I think it's an awesome show. I think it's really great. I enjoy the whole weekend. The vibes are fantastic, and I'm so appreciative of everybody on that team that puts that on.
100%.
There is something happening between Slam Enough and then the city and the powers that be. And what I think might have happened, this is not an official statement, but I'm almost curious to see if they're like, we won't call it Gatlinburg. We'll call it something else, and we won't host it there. And then like the county's like, okay, so not in Gatlinburg. And then Slam Enough was like,
no.
Yeah, no, not in Gatlinburg. They're like, well, where's it going to be hosted? They're like, Sevierville? And they're like,
okay.
All right. Wasn't it always hosted there?
But I'm on to you. And like they're like, no, it'll be different. And it's hosted at the same place, same weekend, same everything. And I'm worried about, I think the only thing I'm kind of worried about is like the city's gonna come back to Slam Enough after the event and be like, you guys didn't change a goddamn thing. It is the same fucking thing.
Yeah. Everyone's gonna go where they always go. It's gonna be the same thing. It's probably gonna be a little worse this year, unfortunately.
But they are introducing new like laws for the weekend. Very same thing that happened up here in Wisconsin. We have an event.
Oh, this is a slippery slope then.
Well, they all go through the same thing, man. It's the same thing as H2OI, right? Where it was like small, bigger, exploded, awesome, bestest event in the entire world. Worst event in the entire world, really fast. And I don't want this to happen to that event because it's awesome, but
I do love it. It is a great show.
It'll be tough. So if you guys and gals are going, a few things to maybe keep in mind.
You should probably go is all I'm going to say. Never know if won't be there again.
Damn.
I've seen this with other. You brought up Automotion, H2OI.
Yeah, true.
It's a slippery slope.
I'm just saying it might. Maybe it'll go for another 15 years.
I hope it does.
Yeah, I hope it does too.
So if you want a way to commemorate the very last Slam Enough Sevierville, come pick up a T-shirt or a hoodie from the MartiniWorks.
So much fucking merch that we're bringing.
We got some cool merch.
Every time I come into work, there's a new design hitting our Slack channel. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing?
There's a lot of stuff coming. We really hope you guys enjoy it. We spent a lot of time and energy and love on this one because we didn't know if it was going to be
more energy
the last one or not, so we wanted to make sure we got the good stuff.
Slam Enough's gonna email you after this and be like, yo, what the fuck are you saying?
No, I don't mean it like that's to be fair. I should shut up. It may very well not
We're
be.
one of the sponsors for this, by the way, right?
We are. We happily are.
I love the show. I'm just saying.
We have a really good one. I would say we have a really good relationship with them. And I hope we do, and I'm sorry if I said something wrong. But they're awesome folks. We are like a title, we're not a primary, I don't know if we're the biggest, we're one of the largest sponsors for the event because we believe in what Slam Enough does, and they bring together the local car community, which we really freaking love. And so we support that. We support that team. They do an incredible job.
It's an insane show.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of work to do. And I do not wish dealing with city councils on my worst enemy.
Nope.
Because they're all terrible. And I used to deal with them too for Automotion. And I actually just gave up. They won.
That says a lot because I don't see Alex really give up on anything. So I cannot even imagine what it's like.
It was such a, I still remember dealing with it. Like I remember sitting there and I was at the board. Here I am in my nice outfit.
We were in a
old ass fucking man, old ass fucking woman, old ass grumpy ass cop, old ass fucking man, old ass fucking woman. List goes on. And I'm sitting there.
Yeah.
And they're like, they look at me and they go, well, why don't you just tell your tuner car friends to not show up? This is for old cars only. And I'm like, totally hear you. We're at a point in this weekend, they're going to show up anyway.
Yeah.
So
it's a tradition.
Yeah.
It's a yearly event now.
So they can either show up and have something to do
Yep.
that gets them off the street,
Yep.
or not have something to do,
And then they're on the street.
and cruise the street, and then the cop goes, "Well, I'm gonna be. Let me stop you right there, son. They're not gonna be cruising the
Started
streets."
blasting.
And I'm like, well, they are, because that's what car people do. It's like, well, let me tell you, son. We're going to have so many cops coming in from different counties. That's not going to happen.
He was right about that.
Yeah.
And
That
guess
guy
what?
stood by his word.
Guess what happened?
What happened?
They fucking cruised the street anyway. And because there was no event in the morning and there was no event in the afternoon, the entire fucking town went into gridlock because every shitbox G35 and every slammed Ferrari and every Porsche 911
Lifted truck
had nowhere to go.
I will confirm, as a 17-year-old that attended Automotion, I will sit in my car for 4 hours in traffic, and I don't really know why, but I'll be out there in my car. Yep. Like, no idea why.
And it was the same thing that happened to H2I. The event was no longer a thing. They're like, we are not hosting an event. There's no official event. People still go to this day, every fucking year, out to Ocean City and do shit.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't understand what it is that causes the issue so much. Obviously, there's like local complaints, but here's the thing about locals complaining. Maybe don't live in a fucking town that's built around tourism.
Yeah.
You idiots. The whole concept of living in a tourist town is that you live in a tourist town. Congratulations. Your city is an attraction for people to come to.
Yeah.
Hey,
Don't be
thriving.
Don't be upset that these people are coming. And they're like, well, we actually, it's like when I hear people, there's a difference between Las Vegas and then like everything else that surrounds it. But it's like when people get mad that the city, the downtown area of Las Vegas hosts attraction events. And it's like,
That's what the whole fucking place is
that's
built
the
for.
whole goddamn
Where do you
point.
want us to do it?
It's like that's the whole concept of it. It's like if you don't like the move. That's like the whole. It's like me complaining that we live in a small town.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the biggest thing here is, of course, like the takeover stuff that is kind of starting to trickle in. It's inevitable, unfortunately.
Pop their tires.
It just seems to keep happening. If you guys have an accountability,
Minecraft.
you guys and gals watching this have an accountability. If you see someone at Slammed Enough Seaverville doing stupid shit, you spank them.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft.
Here's what I would say.
Give them a spank.
I would recommend taking it an entire step further. Don't spank them. Publicly humiliate them
By spanking them.
In Minecraft. You say that because it saves your ass in case somebody goes and actually starts hitting somebody because the MartiniWorks podcast told them to.
That's fair.
No, you wouldn't. Then we'd be fucking playing with Hoonigan.
And then we're declaring
ball
Chapter
pit.
11's bankruptcy.
If I saw some dude get ripped out of a G35 that was doing donuts downtown Gatlinburg and they just start spanking
Like the Michael Scott
Because
in
Mart-
the office,
yeah.
leaning over the
MartiniWorks told me to. That would be fantastic.
No, it would
In Minecraft.
in my Thank you.
We're not recommending anybody does any physical action that would put anybody in danger. However, get their license plate take good quality
There you
photos
go,
of
there
the
you go.
cars so that we can publicly humiliate them. Because it's really easy to find out who owns a car.
Virtually spank them.
And then, unfortunately, if the G35 is owned by somebody else, then we're going to send a mob after the wrong person. But
Fuck.
I would say there is an element of like mob mentality with takeovers and people just doing dumb shit. Here's the great news.
What's up?
If somebody does something stupid and the crowd is like just looking at it and they're all kind of saying and murmuring the same dumb shit, you can probably just start yelling for those people to fucking stop, and everybody behind you is going to do the very same thing. Because most times, 9 times out of 10, nobody wants that, especially for this weekend, because everybody's already aware at how sensitive the relationship is with the city. It's not like the accidents that happened last year, which I would argue there weren't really.
It wasn't. Yeah.
There really wasn't that much.
No.
But like I watched one of the videos of the car outside the gas station doing like a donut at like 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever like that. And like you listen, nobody's like cheering on the guy. Nobody's like, oh my God. Nobody's taking over the four-way. Nobody's doing it. They're just watching, and then he stops, and then that was it. It's like, just literally add a, hey, fucking stop it. And I think you're going to be good.
It's like, dude, that shit happens on Wisconsin Ave 2 times a night at my at my fucking house. Like, it's not, it's just, it's the time and the place. And unfortunately, it does attract, some people who do want to see that shit. And like, those people will find the reason to come and do that kind of shit, unfortunately.
And I hate to say it too, but like, I'm gonna be honest, it seems like a really fun thing to do in front of a lot of people. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Even if you've got a nice car. Because I watch people with fucking brand new 911 GT3 RSs doing the same dumb shit in Texas. And because they have a $250,000 car, they think it abstains them from being ridiculed. No, you look like a fucking dumbass too. You're just a dumbass with money. Congratulations. Stop doing it. You give everybody a bad name because you are just a young kid with a loud car. And old people put us all in the same boat of just being young kids with loud cars, and that's what gets those events to get canceled.
Let's say you do the donut, right? You do it in front of everyone. What is best case scenario out of that situation?
You get a video that goes viral on TikTok. That's it.
Yeah, that's the most you could get out of it. Do something else.
Take a cool photo in the mountains.
There you go.
Make a video in the mountains of your car.
Drift the mountainside.
Such a beautiful area.
In Minecraft. Because then if you fall off, then, you learn your lesson.
It's a super cool car show. We all want to keep it as long as we can. That is, if someone were to come up to me and say, what car show should I go to in the United States? That it'd be one of the first ones that I'd bring up because the location is insane. The cars that show up are insane. The people are so nice. We're all in a similar mindset. And it's like for a day or two, you have a city that's just surrounded like by cool car enthusiasts, and that's so neat. But what happens is it just gets big, and then you start getting everyone, and then it's the people that don't really fucking care about cars; they just care about attention, and they start doing burnout. It's always like you never see the dopest car doing this. It's always a clapped out fucking car.
And that's the thing too is we get to see a little bit of behind the scenes, and some we don't even get to see. And what the core Slammed Enough team has to go through to host this event, to even get approval, is a ton of work. And it can't be understated that these guys and gals, there's a benefit to them because obviously they make money. We make money. Everybody's happy. Everybody enjoys the weekend. You get to go to an Airbnb. You get to just have fun. But like there is a fuck ton of work that goes into just getting this event to
It's
occur.
insane. Yeah.
And it's like we want this to last as long as possible because there's nothing else quite like it. And if we get rid of it, to get it back up and rocking somewhere else is going to take a really long time. And so I would just really encourage you guys, again, I get it. You're going to have friends that are going to want to do silly stuff. Just try not to. Like, just don't.
Please don't spank people. It was a joke. It was a joke. Sorry.
In Minecraft.
Forget that people take things seriously sometimes.
Way too seriously.
With that being said, we're going to take a small break, but not before talking about
I love Fortune. We actually were talking to the guy that came in to pick up his wheels, and what are you guys losing it? I wish you guys could see this right now. Anyways,
He's trying so hard not to laugh. He's like, that was stupid, but it was kind of funny.
The guy that came in to get his gram lights we were like, what's your next mod? He's like, well, I have coilovers, but like They're kind of janky.
He said their booty cheeks.
Yeah, not good. So he's like, I want to upgrade those, and I think I'm going to go with Fortunatos. He's like, do you guys love yours? And we're like, yeah, that's on Fortunatos. That's on Fortunatos. This is on Fortunatos. My car's on Fortunatos. Dude, they're phenomenal, and they have a setup for whatever you need. If it's track, if it's daily driving, if it's a mix of both, guess what? FA has got you. They're all assembled in the United States. You can get them rebuilt in the United States. You can do Swift spring upgrades. You can have the spring rates dialed into whatever you want, or they will suggest what you should have too. But they also have ones in stock ready to go. So shop Fortune Auto over at MartiniWorks.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Breaking News. I'm going to do it my own way.
It's getting a little better.
Welcome to Breaking News. All right?
Nice.
I'm doing it my own way from here on out.
All right.
All right? I'll do it with a Russian accent if I have to.
No, you don't. You can't do that.
I can't do any accents.
No.
It is
they
a
all
weak-
sound the same.
Anyway,
Number one, probably the biggest news. Massachusetts is on a rampage of denying registration for K-trucks. Now they've taken it a step further because Massachusetts denied its very first Nissan Skyline registration, claims the car is for off-road use only.
oof.
Why'd they deny it?
Because they just hate, I don't know, they just hate Japanese.
What is
Massachusetts?
going on with that?
Who's living in Massachusetts?
Enough people to keep making news about the fact that
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Springfield RMV denied his R34. He included the HS7 NHTSA approval. Interesting wording in the rejection. When the clerk initially reviewed my paperwork, she said, "We do not register any Japanese vehicles."
What?
Well, that's a lie, first off.
Yeah.
The screenshot from Facebook of Peter, who tried to register his R34, had highlighted that the reason that this vehicle could not be processed was for the following reasons. Eligibility. The National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration indicates these vehicles are mainly for off-road use and does not endorse the use of this vehicle on public highways because it doesn't meet U.S. safety standards.
Doesn't matter. It's 25 years old.
Is that not wild? But that's the federal ruling, not the state ruling.
The fuck does any of that mean?
Why they
How
make it
how
so
can the state
confusing?
overrule the federal? That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. What's the point?
Is that not absolutely
That's
wild?
ridiculous, dude.
That's-
I couldn't imagine, dude. That
Imagine
poor
you
Pete.
buy an R34,
Yeah.
you get it, you're so excited, you go to register, and they're like, no, hell no.
Yeah,
now
poor,
what?
Poor Pete.
A lot of people say, woo, lobbying corruption, love to see it. Just saying. Other people saying that this is a slippery slope.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
guarantee some Fat Cat dealerships are behind this BS, and if owners don't step up, this will become a nationwide problem. Turns out emission laws aren't the biggest risk to classic car ownership. It's just greedy dealers. It's
What,
a pretty,
what do you mean by the dealers? Like, what does that have to do with anything?
I think a lot of times people are just trying to point a finger to figure out who's to blame, right? The NHTSA is an actual national, safety advisory board. But these recommendations are coming off the AAMVA, which is a non-regulatory, non-governmental advisory board that states essentially subscribe to. And that AAMVA has been on a kick to prevent the registration of K-trucks.
And who's behind the AAMVA?
Folks that live in fucking Massachusetts, some of them, and other people are just generally boring ass people. But there is belief that the people that are in the AAMVA have ties to governmental bodies or lobbyists underneath dealership, ownership.
I could see it.
So that's what a lot of people are saying. Obviously, it's all rumors. You guys will have to listen to what you think. But obviously, a very, very crummy situation for some of those states. It's happening in Maine. It's happening in Massachusetts. It happened in Texas. Good news, Texas was Texas because eventually people just got so fed up they started yelling at the state of Texas, and Texas was like, all right,
From
sorry.
their K-truck.
Sorry, Jesus Christ, we'll give you your registration. They're like, you're goddamn right you will. Is that pretty good?
Roll off in their little truck.
All right.
All right, next up,
Yeah.
Yes, please.
what is, in your opinion, the best high mileage, rare / exotic car? Like, what car do you think? Let me rephrase the question.
Yeah.
What rare or exotic car do you think can have the highest miles?
Ooh.
Rare exotic car. Probably some weird ass Volvo.
Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what do people just drive for fucking ever?
So very first thing I thought of,
Yeah.
NSX.
Sure.
Those things regularly have 200,000 miles.
Yeah.
They would be considered a little bit of a, I would say, an older,
rare
car.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I don't know. I never see him freaking drove.
Yeah,
Audi R8.
that's kind of what I was
Not really
thinking because it's like,
rare,
but
not
I just
exotic.
think of the guy in Appleton here that's just driving it nonstop.
He's just praying somebody's like,
There's
oh
a
my
couple
God,
of 'em.
take me home.
There's a couple of them, dude. I don't blame him. R8's a great car. I'd drive the piss out of it if I had one.
I feel go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel like R35s have gotten up there with like mileage wise. I feel like you know they got kind of affordable for a while, and like people like our age like scooped them up and they just drove the fuck out of them. Like, and now they're all like 70, 100, 130,000 mile cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dakota?
Some weird Volvo.
Yeah.
They're always rare. I don't know why Volvos are like
At least here,
there's like a rare spec or something.
There's always
and then
a
they
rare
always
spec
have a
Volvo.
crazy mileage on them. But I can't think of like an exotic. I don't know what exotics are being driven a ton.
The best part is at the top comment here.
Yeah,
I thought it would be something Sean Berger would write.
Oh God.
So Android user 37, aka probably Sean, said, technically speaking, there are only 1,400 B4 Passat wagon TDIs in the U.S. market. So my 1996 Passat wagon TDI is rare, even if nobody cares about it, and mine has 170,000 miles.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. See, that's the kind of shit. Yeah. I like that.
Another guy said he has a 300,000 mile Porsche 944 from 1987.
That's cool.
And another guy said, I had 325,000 on my old Vanquish.
God damn.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, I got Blarg 240SX.
How many miles are on there?
Dash stopped working at like 275. Don't know.
Holy shit. I didn't know it had over 275 miles.
Yeah. 200. I think it's like 200 and some thousand miles, and it's just stalled. Like it won't.
You don't need to know after that.
Yeah. At this point, I'd rather not.
Well,
After this, even Nissan's like, we don't think it would make it this long.
Well, even at the DMV when you like register them and shit, right? Isn't it after a certain year or
exempt.
mileage?
Yeah.
It's just exempt.
Yeah. There's
They don't even care. No one cares anymore.
They don't care about mileage, but they care if it's a Japanese car in Massachusetts.
They look at my 240 and they're like, that's fine. That's fine to drive. That's safe. Look at a fucking fresh bone stock Skyline.
yeah.
No.
That thing's dangerous as hell, you crazy bastard. Put that away. Use it on the farm.
Yeah.
Off-road use only. Who would you say makes the most well-rounded cars right now?
Mike Tyson.
Why?
I don't know. I just
I
thought
want you to keep going.
Yeah.
What's your second thought?
Toyota.
Well-rounded.
You think Toyota makes the best well-rounded cars? Even though some of them just...
Nah, that's okay.
I
That's
think,
part of being well-rounded.
I think
Gotta have some that start on fire, some that don't.
I think BMW right now, honestly.
BMW?
Yeah. Because they got like fucking everything. They got just regular sedans. They
Yeah,
got
that's
performance
true.
sedans. They got coupes. They got like SUV crossovers that you can just do stuff in. They have performance SUV crossovers that scare the fucking shit out of me. Like they got like everything.
That was a good call, actually.
Yeah, I would say, since you said BMW...
What
just-
van, though? They don't have a van.
Man, they don't have a
You know who does?
Toyota.
Mercedes. And they're way better than a Toyota van.
Yeah, but
like
Mercedes doesn't have like an affordable option.
Yeah, they do. They got a bunch of garbage-ass entry-level vehicles these days. Plastic-ass front insignias and garbage interior LEDs.
How much are they?
I don't know. Cheap.
I don't think
Nah.
they are. I don't think they are.
fact check.
They might be cheap, but they're not cheap.
I was going to say, because you said BMW, I would say Audi. I still think Audi makes really great, well-rounded
No van.
cars.
No, but
They don't start on fire either, I
No,
guess.
they got like the RSQ
No truck.
fucking thing that's got 24-inch wheels and 900 horsepower though.
the RSQ8. When you see it on the road, you're like,
Why?
What is that? I put the RSQ8 and like the Porsche Cayenne GTS turbo thing that they made. I put those two in like the same category because it's like you look at it and you're like,
Why?
who in God's green earth chose that as the thing to buy? Like you can literally smell the depreciation come off of those things.
Dude, the fucking brake rotors on that car are like the entire size of like the outer diameter of like my tire.
Yeah,
like,
even
they're huge.
A friend of mine, his name is Brandon. He rented through like Turo, like one of those really nice high end AMG Mercedes SUVs, and it was like the same thing. Like I was looking at like the features that this SUV had, I'm like,
This is ridiculous.
how? Why would you ever buy this? And it was fast.
Oh, I'm sure.
Ridiculously fast. All right, so top comment, BMW.
Okay.
Somebody else,
No
second
van,
place,
no truck. Just saying.
Mazda.
No van, no truck.
Well, they have a van. Doesn't Mazda have a van?
Mazda don't have a van.
Does anyone really have a van anymore?
Toyota.
Toyota's van. Honda has a van.
Chrysler.
Chrysler. Is Chrysler still a thing? I don't know. Dodge has a
Chrysler
van.
definitely has a van though.
Somebody else said Mercedes definitely makes some, quote, rounded models.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Whoever's designing the Mercedes right now, stop.
Why does it
Go
there's
back to 2011.
every like front and back of the car, they're all like sloped downwards.
I just don't like the way
Like
they
it
look.
never comes to like a flat part and then comes out. It's all just like,
Yeah. It's for rain.
oh,
Kind of like a house.
okay. We're the gutters. What?
Nothing. Somebody else said Skoda.
What the fuck is that?
Well,
That's
it's in Europe,
Yeah,
so we wouldn't know.
European brand. We don't get.
I'm American.
We know.
I thought you were American.
All right. Hello. Final question. What weird driving quirks do you have?
Dakota drives with his shoes off, and I think that's so weird.
I do it sometimes. Like road trips, 100%. Road trips, 100%. I don't
That
like
freaks
to
me
work. I don't do it to work. I know. But like, yeah, dude, have you ever drove with it? I bet you Alex does. He seems like the guy.
What?
You drive sometimes without your shoes on.
Well, the width of some of my shoes don't work for the pedals in the 430, so yeah, I take them off.
See?
That's so weird to me.
I don't think.
I don't know. I've just never. That's weird.
Do you wear your shoes in your house?
No.
Oh no, who does
Okay,
that?
So
Well, I'm just saying.
how different?
Like I get it. It was just so funny. I think we were heading down to like Gatlinburg or like Riverside or something.
I probably got out.
Anyway,
and I dropped
yeah,
my
we got
shoes
out to
on.
like the fucking gas station. He just throws his shoes. I was like, "The fuck are you?" He's like, "Put my shoes on."
I
Like,
take
why were
my-
they off?
Oh yeah,
It's-
road trips.
See,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You're pretty much in a living room for 6
I
hours.
gotta try this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
you
try
should. You should try.
Yeah.
it. Just give
I'm
it.
not knocking it. I'm just.
Give it a go on a road trip coming up here, and you'll be like.
You might also notice that
I like
you got like floor leaks and stuff in your Mazda though, like rust holes and stuff like that. I took my
Wow. Wow. dude.
well, no, I don't. It's kind of sounds like a dig, but when I took my shoes off in my Datsun, my old Datsun that I used to have, it's when I realized that like the drain plugs had rusted.
Yeah.
Because I took my shoes off and I was like driving,
it wet?
and I was like, why is there so much air coming from down? I don't have AC in this car. And I remember I was like, okay, so I took off the carpet and I looked, I was like, oh no. Yeah.
You see, I'm not driving barefoot in the 240. Well, the Type R, I might.
You might get tetanus.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready for this?
Do we say you guys didn't say your weird driving?
My weird quirk?
Yeah, I want to know what weird quirk you have while you're driving.
I have this pretty weird quirk actually. When I pass somebody and I use the left lane, I go back into the right lane when I'm done.
Yeah.
That's
Who the hell
weird.
does that?
I'm kidding. That wasn't even
You're
my
a
joke.
proper civilian.
That was the internet's joke. Somebody said backing in. This guy just always backs into his parking spots.
Doesn't everybody in Japan do that?
Somebody else said, I'm not sure if my passengers have ever noticed, but I always try to bring my vehicle to a smooth stop instead of a dead stop with a final jerk. Let me tell you something. My father has this driving behavior. Very annoying. I love him to death. He does a pre-brake before he brakes. Have you ever seen
just
this
like
before?
and then
Yeah, he does like a check. We're going like 45 and he like checks before we get to the stop sign and then he brakes again. So it's like it's a constant.
That's weird.
And then
I
he-
guess just make sure you got brake pressure.
yeah.
Before you commit.
I don't know what it is, but he does
just
a
checking?
pre-brake check.
I'm just checking. God, I'm trying to think if there's anything that I'm really weird about, like where my elbow placement is. In some cars, I'm really uncomfortable because like the one, like your little like console thing here is like too low. So it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna try to like put it like up on like the window ledge, but then it's like too high.
Yeah.
That might be a different thing going on with me, but I don't know.
Yeah. I like that.
Oh, somebody actually has a weird quirk. Everybody else in this thread has been just saying like normal things. Somebody's like, I coast instead of braking immediately when there's somebody in front of me. Somebody said that they wiggle the stick left and right vigorously when he stopped. Somebody else says taking more of a racing line through corners and winding straights. That's Lars literally every time I drive behind him. But somebody goes, I think not washing your hands before you drive is insane. Seeing other people's steering wheels is nasty.
Okay.
We all need to wash our damn hands more.
That's true. That's true.
That's kind of a weird one.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I always turn my music down when I slow down.
I always turn my music down when I'm confused.
So like I'll come to like a stoplight and I'll just turn music.
You know, there's cars. Wait, you do what? Why?
I don't know.
I get the
I know.
There's people that slow down and like when they're like looking for an address or something.
Yeah. It's like I come to a stop and I'm like, wow, this is really loud.
No, I know why. I know why. Gels is that kind of person. He just because he stops, he turns it down because he just doesn't want to be, the center of attention. Once he's back on the road and he's by himself, he can turn it up.
Yes,
because it's just him. But once he's next to other cars, it's a little like awkward. So I just turn it down.
It does because like I walk downtown and if I hear people's music out of their cars downtown, I'm like, the fuck are you doing?
Right.
Well, like it's
when
just
they're
like,
blasting it.
Yeah. And it's
if it's just like slightly going. I mean,
I don't turn it off. I turn it down.
That's not gels. Come on.
Yeah, that's a weird quirk. I don't. But there are some cars out there that like you have a setting that you can turn on that the volume goes with your speed.
The RX-8 does have that. I turned.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
I turned it off.
The RX-8 has that?
Yeah. I think most BMWs have.
It's got like a Bose system and it's really nice. I turned it off because it works weird though.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like backwards. Like I get slower and the volume goes up or something. Fucking no.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to get louder when you're driving at higher revs because the car's louder.
Yeah, but it's backward. Anyway, my wife has a really weird one, and it's usually when she's sitting passenger because she just fucking looks at everybody when we're driving by, and like she'll just like straight up like we'll pass someone just, dude, and then she's like, "The fuck was she looking at?" She gave me a weird look. Why the fuck is she looking at me? And I'm like, because you were staring her down for fucking 2 miles. And she's like, no, I wasn't. Oh, yeah, I kind of was.
That is Becca in the car all the time. She doesn't want to drive, but she wants me to drive as if she was driving. And so anytime we're at like she's like, you can go. I'm like, I know I can go.
As you're putting into, yeah.
She's like, go, follow him. I'm like, listen, chill, all right? We're going to get tacos. We're not in a... But then, like, somebody in front of me will do something. They'll brake a little early or they'll, get back into the right lane where they thought they could turn. And Becca's like... And I'm like, can you stop? Because there's a red light coming up and they're going to be right there.
I know. It's like I never honk at people. I never fucking honk at people. I never like flip people out. Like I just don't because I know the moment that I do, we're hitting a fucking red light together. Maggie on the other hand is like ready to just smack that fucking horn button at any moment. I'm like, you scare me.
Dude,
she's like, they need to know that they fucked up. I'm like, I think they do.
2 days ago, I was in the Taco Bell drive-thru and I held my horn through the entire drive-thru because they fucking are open. The employees' vehicles are parked there, and I sat for 15 minutes at the fucking kiosk in the drive-thru. I tried to go inside; it was locked. I sit there. I'm like, hello, because I really wanted it. My wife wanted Taco Bell too, and I drove there. There's a line starting behind me.
No.
So I gave just like a curious, like, oh, maybe they're like in a meeting. They don't know, like people are out here. So yeah, I just did a beep beep. And I went, hello, and no one fucking came. So I got fucking because also little backstory here, so you don't think I'm just like the biggest douche. Yes, this Taco Bell is the fucking worst. I don't know why I keep giving it chances, bro. I need to stop. It's not worth it. So I just held the fucking horn the whole way through.
You guys just need to stop going to Taco Bell. I hate.
No, some are okay. Some are all right.
The fact that you have to say that some are okay and not some are good is the clearest indication that it's not a good place to go to.
Yeah. They got rid of the street chalupas, and I'm sad.
They were so good.
Honestly, if I'm going to Taco Bell, I'd rather go to Quick Trip. And if there's a Taco John's nearby, I'd rather level up.
Quick Trip overrated.
Because I'm only going to Taco Bell if I need food. Like substance. I don't ever like
shit. What else would
crave-
you go to Taco Bell
Because
for?
there are some places I go to.
vibe.
No, there are some places I go
hang
to
out.
because it's good. Because I want the actual food. I've never gone to Taco Bell
Atmosphere.
being like, I want Taco Bell. No, I go to Taco
music.
Bell because it's convenient and it's fast. They don't even have good music anymore.
I've gone to Taco Bell because I want Taco Bell.
Alex is
Gross.
quoted at, I only go to Taco Bell when I need food.
It's never a destination, guys. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't think it's meant to be. It's meant to go there when you need food.
Yeah, but sometimes I enjoy going to certain places.
Yeah, me too.
I don't enjoy going to Taco Bell.
Is there fast food restaurants that you enjoy going to?
Chick-fil-A.
I don't enjoy going to Chick-fil-A.
You don't enjoy the experience?
No.
It stresses me out.
I enjoy going to Qdoba.
In-N-Out.
I enjoy going to Qdoba. I enjoy going to In-N-Out.
Yeah, Qdoba's usually not too bad.
I don't enjoy going to Taco John's or Taco Bell.
No,
I'm sorry.
I don't enjoy going to Taco Bell.
There are times where I'm hungry and I see the Taco Bell on my way back from my Martini and I say, nope, not worth it.
It used to be worth it. Now it's not worth it.
No.
But
You guys have to let us know what you think. Thank you so much for tuning into the MartiniWorks podcast. We talked about some really great stuff. We talked about some not so good stuff. But please, if anything, if y'all are coming out to Slam Enough Seaverville,
Come say hi.
come say hi at the MartiniWorks booth.
Yes.
If you see somebody that's working the Slam Enough staff, say, hey, thanks, because they're putting out a lot of work to make that event as successful as it can be, and it would mean the world to them. And we hope you stop by the booth, pick up one of our limited, we have super awesome stuff we're dropping, but we don't have a ton of it. So stop by, pick something up, say hi to the boys, and let us know if you think I'm absolutely psychotic for saying Taco Bell's just not a destination, bro.
that's not what you said.
That's exactly what I said.
not what
And
we're
I'm going to
arguing.
gaslight you until we stop this podcast.
You got to tell me what chapter 1 bankruptcy is now that we turn off the mics.